Hello, and welcome back again to our garden here in Norfolk, where we use the no dig method. Our garden is in the wonderful county of Norfolk, and we are midway between the fine city of Norwich and the coastal town of Great Yarmouth. I'm digging some holes here, as you can see, ready to receive some Chinese cabbage and pak choi, which we started off about 3 weeks old now and do grow remarkably quickly. This is a crop that we haven't actually grown before, so it's first time for us, and I've seen on one or two of the other gardening channels. I noticed that on Green Side Up, he calls these plants his nemesis, so I hope they don't become ours, but we shall see. Now, in this bed here, if you remember from previous videos, we had onions which we've harvested, and all we did was rake the compost over. Hello, Poppy. Back. And you see it just as we've just harvested the onions, so there's very few weeds. There'll always be the odd one to pick out, so don't think it's going to be no weeding at all. The idea is that you keep on top of it, there are less, and they pull out so much easier. So now that I've digged the holes, it's time to do some planting. And these are the Chinese cabbage. As I say, these plants are 3 weeks old. You can see that they germinated really quickly. Within 2 or 3 days they were germinated and through. And after 3 weeks of growth, this is what they've looked like. A few roots coming out the bottom, so they look like they're ready to go out. I'm told that these are rapid growing plants, so hopefully we'll be able to film this and then you'll be able to see what they look like once they mature. So they've got a nice root system. Now that I've digged the hole, all I do is pop it in, and when I finish this, we will water. I always take the plant out by the leaf, not the stem. If the leaf goes, it'll grow back. If the stem goes, it's terminal. Yeah, looking really good plants. And I'm going to plant 2 rows of these, 12 in a row, and I have set them at 12 inches equidistant. And when I've looked into the distances for these, they can be planted anywhere sort of between 8 and 12 inches, depending on how you want to harvest the plant. I have seen and I have read that some people harvest these kind of plants, the pak choi in particular, by picking the outer leaves rather than the whole plant. So I'm going to try it both ways this year, hopefully, if we get the crop, and yeah, and see which one I think works best. So I'm going to continue planting these out and give them a good drink of water, and then we'll come back to you. As you can see, we've planted 2 rows of Chinese cabbage, and here 2 rows of pak choi. As you saw me doing earlier using the dibber, I always like to dib the hole a little bit deeper than the plug plant that it's going to receive. One of the reasons I like to do that is, A, if you've got slightly longer stems, it buries that stem a bit right up to the first set of seedling leaves and helps firm the plant in better. But also, with water being, you know, a commodity, you never quite know when it's going to rain. Sometimes we get these periods where we get very little rain. We have various water butts about the garden where we can collect water. Nevertheless, you still need to use it sparingly. For me personally, I find the best time to use water is when we're putting new seedlings in and as something approaches its harvest. Of course, if we get long dry periods, we have no choice but to water. Plants can't survive without water, just like us. But where possible, I don't really water very much. What I have found during this year on our journey with No Dig Gardening is that I actually have had to water less. So when it does rain, the compost mulch that's on top really absorbs that water and it can get down into the soil where the plants mostly need it. And if you look just next door here where the leeks are, these were planted out in June, and we had some quite hot weather during June with not too much rain. They haven't received any water since the day I actually watered them in as young plants. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. You can see these are now starting to approach harvest. Looking really good. But leeks are for another video. So if we can bring the camera just over here, you can see that, yeah, this plant is in, pushed it down. The ground is firm anyway, and you can see I've did that hole enough so that these first seedling leaves, yeah, are more or less level with the ground. And there is a slight reservoir here where I can get my can and fill that up. Now that means two things. It means you're not wasting water all over the bed where it's not going to be required other than for the weeds that want to come through, but also it puts the water direct down to those roots and to help them bed in and find their feet in their new homes. So I'm going to finish watering these now, and then we're going to look at putting a cover over the top. Our biggest pest around here in this garden is pigeons. We have lots of trees around and some woodland towards the back of us. Yeah, we have a lot of pigeons. They probably do the most damage. Now I know that, like the rest of you, I also do have problems with the cabbage white. But with the covers, I can mitigate that to a certain extent. There's been some damage on those cauliflowers there, but if we've found 10 caterpillars in there that we've got rid of, that's as many as we've found. So the nets are doing a good job, and yeah, we can mitigate against that. But as we now approach autumn and winter, those pigeons are going to become ever more a problem. Brassicas, cover. We'll put the cloche over the Chinese cabbage and the pak choi. The plants look a little bit sorry for themselves. They always do when they first go in, but they will stand up to attention over the next couple of days, and pretty sure they're going to be absolutely fine. When we come back to harvest those in a few weeks time, we'll film it so you can see exactly how we did get on. We've had an absolutely amazing weekend, we really have. This bank holiday weekend, we actually went up to Liverpool on Thursday and Friday for my sister-in-law's wedding. She's now married to Michael. Yeah, it was really great to see all the family again. And now here we are on bank holiday Monday, back in the garden, and we have the grandchildren here, which is really lovely. They're staying overnight, so yeah, we're going to have a lovely evening meal with them this evening. One of the things they do like is some sweet corn. So these are looking really good and ready. So One of the telltale signs is when the tassels have gone a dark brown colour. And of course we do peel back the sheaths now and again just to see how they are. There we go, look at that, absolutely amazing. Nice full kernels. They're going to be happy bunnies this evening. Just in case you were wondering, because as I said, we did plant some pak choy and some Chinese cabbage. There was another tray in here. These are actually spinach, but I am actually going to leave those another week before I put those in the ground. Just them get a little larger. No other reason that I'm running out of time today, more than anything else. But yeah, they'll be going in over the next week, and we'll film that and have a spinach planting. Has been a really busy day in the garden today. But it was like it like that, don't we, Poppy, hey? And this morning we actually harvested or picked cooking apples because they were ready, and we've made some apple sauce, which should be very nice with a nice piece of pork that we have for our evening meal this evening. And along with that, all this wonderful abundance of vegetables that we've grown. We're going to have some roast squash this evening. Looking forward to that. That's a curry squash. And saw me pick the sweet corn. Just picked some celery to make a trivet in the bottom of the tin that we're going to cook the pork in. These carrots, by the way, this is a variety called Norwich. I had to grow that really, didn't I? But yeah, they're a lovely carrot and a good size. Yet we'll continue harvesting them, and the follow-on carrots that we planted for autumn winter, they're looking really good now, and we'll have some harvest from those, I guess, towards the end of September as we go into October, as these diminish with our harvests. So yeah, all in all, what a great August bank holiday weekend. Actually, I forgot, we also picked some beans today too, some French beans and some runner beans, and we've blanched those and they're in a bag now and in the freezer so that we do have some nice green vegetables as autumn and winter approaches and those kind of things are not available to us within the garden. But for now, that's it for today. Please consider a like if you like what we're doing, and subscribe. It would be amazing. And also, please keep your comments coming. Really love to hear your comments and to interact with you all. I find out new things, and I guess you do from me too. Yeah, it's just great to share experiences. Until the next time, stay safe and take care. And we'll see you very soon back in the garden.